Well, good morning everyone and welcome to a new Tenerife news update. It's going to be a little bit of a different one this one because I did want to be out and about here in Los Cristianos. As you can see, it is a gorgeous day. Now, as you might have also seen as well, there has been a bit of an explosion of news reports and fake news and articles and Facebook posts and absolutely all kinds. My inbox was flying off this morning. I woke up and it was all, I've switched on GM News, GM TV. There has been a big report on tourism, Tenerife, tourists go home, tourists not welcome, all of that stuff. So I'm going to be discussing that as we go around. But I wanted to walk around just to show you what the feel is like here in Los Cristianos, in the tourist resort, because a lot of people have messaged me saying, my daughter's coming over and I'm concerned, she's not going to feel welcome, etc, etc. So I just want to put your mind at ease. A lot of you will have already seen my videos on the channel, you'll have seen them all week. I do live here in Los Cristianos, I'm always out and about, and you'll see from those live streams and those videos there's nothing really going on, but of course the UK media like to make a huge meal out of it. Some of the articles and the headlines, the way they were written, were actually quite funny. So I will read some of those out, discuss the issue that is there, but also the general feel around the place. Living here, I'm here all year round, and in terms of actually being here, I'm not actually feeling anything, but you switch on the news and you switch on all these, read all these articles and stuff, you think it was like, they're describing it as a war, mental. Right, let's head down onto the beachfront and I'll have a little chat with you all. It is Tuesday, it is market day, so we'll have a quick look at the Tuesday market as well here in Los Cristianos. Okay, so just here is the Tuesday market today, and as you can see, everyone having a great time, enjoying finding those little bargains around the market. How many of you do come to the market? Let me know down in the comments. This is on a Tuesday and a Sunday here in Los Cristianos, just for information. But yeah, busy. Does anyone look stressed? Does anyone look concerned? Is there a quote tourism war going on? Definitely not. It's a gorgeous day today. It's 25 degrees. And everyone's just enjoying a little morning wander around the market today. We're going to go down onto the beachfront in a moment as well. So just to touch on one of these articles here that has been released over the last couple of days. Maybe you did see the report on the TV this morning as well. I believe they did a bit of a poll. Would it put you off coming, etc. So I'm going to be quick to jump into the defence of that, because there isn't really anything, especially down here in the south, there is nothing really too much going on. I can't really see anything in particular that would put anyone off just now. But just to read you one of these ones, of course they do make me laugh, some of them, the way they are written. We'll take a wander down this way, down towards the beachfront. Tenerife, low quality Brit tourists who drink cheap beer, lay in the sun and eat burgers and chips in Tenerife are told to go home. What a headline that is. What a headline. To start off with Tenerife, there's certainly no grief here at all. So that bit made me laugh. Tenerife, I was to just get a little quick headline in there. Huge protests are planned as locals demand tourist tax and clamp down on flights to the island. Tenerife has gone to war with sun-soaked beer-drinking Brits, partying the Easter holidays away, and told them all to go home. Well, it's just, if you'd have followed my channel throughout the weekend, we did quite a few little streams and stuff over Easter. Did you see anything like that at all? I don't think so. And to pin out Easter as well, as I mean, they could have picked on maybe Paddy's Day. Cheltenham week was more of a party week for the Brits over here, but Easter, it's actually celebrated a bit more with the Canarians and the Spanish, with the bank holidays and stuff, than it is with Brits. So that's of course an article in a paper that isn't too popular, but there is of course a small issue there regarding housing, etc., which I'm going to discuss as we go along. But yeah, some of the stuff people have sent me today is just unbelievable, because when you're actually here you're like, what? It just makes no sense at all. There was one reporting that there's all fresh things of graffiti everywhere. I've not seen any new graffiti. What made me laugh about that as well is that the pictures they've used in that article are all of the old graffiti that they reported probably a month or so ago now. So not all this fresh things of graffiti everywhere. Yet all the pictures they had were all of the same graffiti used about a month or so ago in the original reports, the original articles. But look at this down here, absolutely stunning today. The ocean is gorgeous. There is a load of whale and dolphin boat excursions out there. We've got fishing trips, kayaks. We're just heading out there as well. You can see paddle boarders. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. So do not be put off. Get yourself over here. We do, of course, welcome the tourists. I did release a video yesterday, a full tour of the airport, arrivals, departures. I went all around the airport. There is really nothing going on like they are describing down here, especially in the south, where most of you will be coming to from the UK. Las Americas, Los Cristianos, Costa Rica. There's the kayakers out there. Nice. So yeah, it's all A-OK over here. Weather is absolutely gorgeous again. Well, I'm going to delve a little bit deeper into the whole situation with those reports. I'll read one of the reports as well and what some of the solutions could be to keep everyone happy over here in Tenerife. Okay, so we've got a gorgeous view out there. The ocean is absolutely stunning today. I'm going to read one of these articles out to you as well. If you have seen it all on the news and on that morning report on Good Morning, I think it was Good Morning Britain, let me know down in the comments what you thought about it. So Tenerife locals have been fuming that they are fed up of low quality Brit tourists. Where the low quality part comes in, I've got no idea, because if you've looked at coming over to Tenerife recently, it is not cheap at all. And they are painting us out to be really quite tacky, even though it's certainly not. We only come over to drink cheap beer and burgers and sunbathing. I mean, it's barely even worth reading this article, isn't it, really? Now they are demanding a tourist tax, less flights to the island, and a clampdown on foreigners buying houses. They claim that Airbnbs and other holiday rentals are driving up the cost of living, that they are sick of the noise, traffic, rubbish that accompany all of the vacationers as well throughout the year. It follows a new wave of anti-tourism graffiti. I've not seen any of it anywhere, and again, in this article they've used pictures that they used weeks ago in the original report. So where are all the pictures of the new wave? Because I can't see any graffiti here at all. And tell Brits that they are not welcome. So thoughts on that, everyone, let me know. Now there is an issue, I have spoken about it before, regarding the housing situation over here. What's happening is a lot of the people that owned apartments or had apartments here, especially in the south, they have worked out, obviously, with the huge demand of tourists, they can stick their apartments on Airbnb or with a holiday rental company or online and rent it out for much more money than they would renting it on a long term to a local or a resident. That's driven up the prices, of course. If you've got an apartment available that for a long term rental, you've got quite a few people fighting over it, people bartering, I'll give you this much more, I'll give you that much more, I'll pay you this much more deposit. So there is a bit of a battle going on with accommodation, and I see that side of it. It is quite expensive. Now that is not down to the tourists or you coming over to sort out, that is down to the government. I discussed this recently with another vlogger from Lanzarote who lives on Lanzarote, and we were discussing how the tourism need to bring in new rules and regulations and freshen up that whole section and that whole industry, renting out accommodation, whether it's long term, short term. They've got to be stricter with the licenses. They've got to go round, and if they are renting to tourists without a license, stop them, kick them out, fine them, do whatever they need to do. But also they need to give more rights to the people renting out apartments on long-term rentals. So over here, if you do choose to rent your apartment out to a local, a resident, long-term rental, all sounds very good, but it does come with a lot of rights for the renter. So whoever is renting, they get a ton of rights. They get all kinds of squatters' rights. If they choose to not pay their rent for a while, they can still stay there for a certain amount of time. If they've got children, they can stay years in the apartment. You can't kick them out. So they need to make it much more fair and easier for people to rent long term. A lot of people are put off because they're like, wait a minute, I can rent my apartment for more money to a tourist who's less likely to trash it. They're out on the beach all day, etc. All they've got to do is clean it and stuff. They're not going to stick around and squat in it and not pay their rent because they're here for a week and then they're off again. And I've got less worries, basically, more money, less worries. Whereas you're thinking about putting it on long term, you're worried who's going to go in it, are they going to trash it? If they choose not to pay their rent, they've got all these rights where they can stay there for years on end, especially if they've got children, you can't kick them out. They need to revamp all of those rules to make it a lot more fair for people to rent long term, in my opinion. This is what we were discussing with Mr. Travelon over in Lanzarote the other day, is that issue with accommodation. And of course, the people who are renting them out illegally, nothing seems to be happening. You've got all these apartments here that some of them are on Airbnb, they're in a full residential block, a full residential complex, and no one is doing anything about it. There's no door knocking, there's no inspections, there's nothing really going on with that. If they clamp down on that, there would be more accommodation available for residents to rent out. So obviously what's happening is the accommodation is going very expensive and they're being pushed out further afield, where they would normally live in Los Cristianos. When I moved over, you could rent a one bed here for like €600 in Los Cristianos. Now you're looking about 1,000 to 1,200 euros for a one bed in Los Cristianos. So they're being pushed out further afield, they're having to commute to work, that's making the roads a bit busier as well. In terms of traffic and rubbish, now obviously a lot of you will know I own a car rental company over here. We have 60 cars. I'm picking up another car today. So just in perspective, as a business owner, none of this is putting me off. I'm still expanding the business, still growing. None of this puts me off at all. It is all just clickbait articles, in my opinion. There is a problem there. There is small protests going on, but to describe it as a tourist war is a bit of a reach, in my opinion. In terms of rubbish, if you see my live streams walking around, we're going around all day long live. There's nothing to hide here. Do you see much real rubbish going around? I do agree that the bins aren't emptied enough, especially at weekends and bank holidays. I agree with that. The collections are not enough. We do need more collections. The bins do often overflow, especially at weekends and on bank holidays when the bin men are off. So I agree with that. But in terms of the waters, everything like that, in general, you can see it behind me, very clean in my opinion. Some people might argue differently, but overall I really don't see as bad as they're making out just here. But do let me know in the comments. Everyone's obviously, of course, entitled to their opinion, but from what I see from being here, I wouldn't make it out to be as bad as this. Now, bitter messages outside tourism hotspots read your paradise our misery. Again, I haven't seen any of that round myself. If you've got any of these pictures, do send me them, because the ones they posted here in this article that I'm reading are all old pictures. Locals are forced to move out. You are responsible for that, said one furious printed sign. Furious. So they're making it sound like you're going to come, there's going to be these people around shouting at you, you're going to get to your accommodation and there's all signs outside of it. It's really not the case at all. There is a planned protest on the 20th of April. It is going to be a big one for residents who are with this movement, this whole anti-tourism movement. It's not even going to be down here in the south, it's going to be in Santa Cruz. And that is aimed at the government to bring in more regulation. So one of those being mentioned is a tourist tax. That's been mentioned for ages and ages anyway, to maybe subsidise some things. Now, the Canarian Weekly have, of course, done a report as well. Did give it a read. It was actually very, very good. So we'll link that down in the description. And some of the things that they say can ease the situation is to, of course, create more residential housing, either by building more and not allowing it to become a VV accommodation, a rental accommodation with licenses, and also by offering tax incentives for owners to return to long-term leasing and protecting owners from squatters. That's what I've just mentioned earlier. They've got to make it more fair and easier for people to rent long-term. People are scared by it because you can put someone in there, you get a couple of months rent, next minute you've got nothing for years, you've got no way of getting them out, you've got to go through the court system. It is a nightmare. So they do have to change that. It's very old hat what they've got in terms of that situation. In terms of building more accommodation, they are actually doing that very close, just down the coast. I can give you more information on that in a video if you want. In Park de la Reina, a very residential area near the go-karting, sort of towards the airport, just along from Guaza, so literally 15-minute drive. They are building 3 new sections of residential apartments. They are also going to be building a Lidl, another supermarket was going in, various different infrastructure. They're going to be expanding the roads, and they've recently built a new school there as well. But there's 3 new residential blocks being built there as we speak. They've started building them already in Park de la Reina, so that is already happening. More residential apartments that are going to be available. I think phase 1 is already sold out. Phase 2 and 3 have some apartments left available, and they are very fair prices as well. And that is in Park de la Reina. I can give you more information on that if you want it. At some point we can go down and do a video, but they are already building that accommodation. Where else can you build though? It's not easy to do. Not easy to do. The next thing that mentions in the Canarian Weekly report here is the removal of some of the taxes from workers' pay packets. So rather than paying for healthcare by taxing the workers to the hilt, if the Spanish and Canarian governments work together to tax the hotel industry a bit more, it could afford to take less off the workers' gross pay instead. So they're suggesting there that the hotels, some of these are making substantial amounts of money. Big chains, H10, there's loads of them. They're all in the same bracket. They're all making absolute bank. They should be taxed a little bit more to be put towards the hospitals, the healthcare, some of these other issues that are going on, the roads, relaying some of the roads, the infrastructure, the bins. Tax the hotels a bit more and pay for more bin collections. Little things like that can be done very easily. I did criticise the Arona Council recently as well for these new signs they've put in, these big new electric boards on the sides of roads that I think are absolutely ridiculous, a huge waste of money that could have been spent on other things. They're putting in these big, huge signs with it's taking them ages to wire them in and everything, and it's a big electric sign, and I'm hoping they're going to be able to display other things, but at the moment all it displays is the time, which is usually completely wrong, not even by hours, by minutes as well, the date and the temperature. That's everything you can get from your car anyway, so why you need that on the side of the road I don't know. They've installed about 6 or 7 of them around the place. Huge waste of money in my opinion, unless they're going to be able to change the display and give, you know, traffic information, or I thought it was going to come up, you know, kids going to school, slow down, etc. At the moment it's a clock that's displaying the wrong time, the temperature and the date. Something you can get from your car screen anyway, and something that's going to distract drivers looking up at a screen on the side of the road. Baffling decision that is. But yes, back to the topic. And they of course are saying that we should be of course welcoming tourists. They are the ones that basically give everything that we have on the island, in my opinion. Without tourists I don't know where we'd be. We wouldn't have all the businesses we have, the workers we have. For example, less tourists come, I'm going to rent less cars, that means I need less staff. I'm going to get rid of a couple of staff that I've got. I'm going to be paying less tax. I'm going to be going out and about more, spending money in the restaurants and bars because I've got less to spend, less money on the excursions, and so on and so on and so on. The knock-on effect is massive, and that's just a small example of my business here. The bar as well, the bar's going to be less busy, then we'd shut the rooftop, we'd do less cocktails, we'd buy less from the supplier, we'd employ less people, we're going to pay less tax, etc, etc. It all goes on. Tourists are massively important over here. You are all still very, very welcome. So this video is more just to put your mind at ease. The amount of messages I got on Instagram where I was inundated this morning, it was impossible for me to answer them all because there was loads of them. But I hope that's sort of cleared a few things up. We're going to take you down to the beachfront now and show you the beachfront here in Los Cristianos, just to put all your minds at ease. If you're new to the channel, big welcome. I am Andrew. I do live here in Los Cristianos, of course. So if you've already been watching the channel, you've seen what it's like at the moment. There are no big tourism wars going on. I filmed the airport yesterday. There was nothing going on there other than a nice sunny welcome to the airport, taxis, buses, rent-a-cars, etc. But we'll go down and have a little look at Los Cristianos Beach before we round it off. But I want to know your opinions down in the comments. There is an issue there. There was a few protests planned. However, a few people did and put it out there on Facebook as well that it's a very small minority. It's about 5% of the residents, 5–10% that want this change and are really unhappy about it. So it's in some ways a minority. I'm not playing down that there is issues, of course there is, but the way it's been blown out as a huge tourism war and making people feel like they're going to be unwelcome, having, you know, mothers messaging me, my daughter's coming and I'm worried about her. completely unnecessary. You might get a few comments on Instagram, Facebook posts, TikToks. I've had a few comments on my TikToks with the whole tourists go home, you're not welcome, etc. Ignore them, block them, delete them. They're just keyboard warriors. When you're actually here, no one's probably going to say boo to a goose. They're putting a bit of graffiti around. Again, I've not seen any in the south here though. A bit of graffiti around in certain places, and comment a few posts on social media, etc. But are they going to be in your face or at your hotel and things like that? Definitely not. Let's take a walk down to the beachfront then, and we'll have a little look at the beach. Well, isn't that water so inviting? It's currently 24 degrees, 11 o'clock in the morning, and boy does that look inviting for a little swim. It really does. Absolutely gorgeous today. Ferries, there you go, there's some of the boats coming in and going. We're going to head just over there to the pedalos, kayaks. We're heading over to the beach to see just how busy it is here in April 2024. So as you take a walk, you can see the promenade nice and busy. Everyone happy, everyone vibrant over here. I'm just reading another article here, and this one is from the Birmingham Live. Tenerife goes to war on UK tourists because the situation has got crazy. Now, if you read that, that does not match the current situation over here at all. At all. Residents in the popular Canary Islands holiday hotspot have moved to demand a tourist tax and a clamp down on families flying over to drink cheap beer, lay in the sun and eat cheap burgers. Where's this cheap burgers sun thing come from? All of a sudden, it's very strange that whole cheap burgers and anything to get a little click on the headline. Absolutely. That is not the situation over here at all. That's not how a lot of people see Tenerife at all either. Not by a long way. It's changed a lot recently in terms of all of that. And if you want to come over to Tenerife, have a look how expensive it is. It is not cheap to come to Tenerife. They make it sound like it's really cheap Brits abroad, and it's really not. It's not cheap to come here. The accommodation has raised its standards, raised its prices, and we are getting a lot of quality people over here. Where it used to be €1 pints, now €1.95. A lot's changed. And a lot of you on this channel who are already subscribers and watch the videos know the situation. You've seen my live streams, etc. before. You know what's going on, and you know a lot of it is all clickbait. For people who haven't been before, it can seriously put people off. Describing things like that, using words like war, is very extreme in my opinion. Very extreme. So we'll see how we go. But just wanted to put all your minds at ease, and let me show you this beachfront as well. Put you all in a good mood. If you're thinking of coming over, get yourself on Skyscanner, get yourself booked, forget all the clickbait, come and enjoy yourself. All the excursions are on, the boat trips, everything like that. Siam Park, busy as always. Oof, he's on one. He's on one today. But yeah, don't stress about it all. Get yourself over and come and have a great time. Anything for the clickbait. But yes, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. A report would have sufficed, but the whole cheap burgers and Brits and war, etc., I think is just way over the top. Way over the top. So if you're enjoying the video as well, make sure you do subscribe. We will be back with plenty of videos this week. My dad arrives tonight, so we're going to be rounding about doing all kinds of different things, excursions, keeping in touch with the weather, etc, etc. So do check out the channel, make sure you do subscribe. Follow me on TikTok as well. We're going to be doing some TikToks. We're going to be going across to Siam Park as well. So make sure you get yourself involved. Do give me a follow. We've got the Knightstrider Tenerife fan group as well. Very popular group on Facebook. So if you've got any questions or anything regarding Tenerife, you can pop them on our group. That's where I saw a lot of your questions today regarding all of these articles. But look at the beach here. Do you see any problems? I certainly don't. I just see sunshine, blue skies, people having a good time, food, drink. The atmosphere and vibe over here is very, very good, very friendly. They're making it sound like it's not. It certainly is. We certainly welcome you all. And you will have a great time. And look at that, beaches, busy kayak tour, just about to head out there, getting all the instructions. It is gorgeous out here today. That's why I wanted to come for a little bit of a walk. It's a bit of a different news update today. It is a little bit more out and about. Normally we do just stay in one spot. But I want to be out and about just to show you what the vibe and the atmosphere is like, because you can read that. I think it's very hostile over here, and it's really not. Really not at all. Oh, I could just go on one of them kayaks now. The ocean is flat as a pancake. They go across to the fish farm there, hopefully see some dolphins and stuff. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous beach day today. Green flag as well for swimming. Absolutely stunning. So everyone, that is going to be it from me. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I hope that's put a lot of your mind at ease. As a resident here, a business owner here, living in a tourist hotspot, I do live in Los Cristianos, in the centre, in the middle of it all, and I'm rounded about all day long, dealing with tourists, cars at the airport, going to the airport, etc. It is really nothing like they are describing. There is some issues there. They do have some protests planned. That's fair enough. They feel how they feel, but it is a government issue. The government have to sort it out. I would love to see a bit of a statement and a bit of a push or some form of response from the tourism board as well, just to put people's minds at ease. People have spent a lot of money to come over here, and now they're stressing out that they've made the wrong choice, maybe come to the wrong Canary Islands. So I'd love to see something come out from the tourist board as well. But from me here, I hope that has reassured you. Do hit the thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments your thoughts about it all. I think without tourism, I don't know how much of an island we'd really have. You would be back to going to old school farming, exporting. We used to export a lot of bananas, things like that, fruit, etc. Without tourism, the island wouldn't be what it is. So if you're on your way over, look forward to this. Beaches, blue skies, good times. You will be welcome. If you want to see what the airport is like, I put a full tour video out yesterday with all the information regarding arrivals, rent-a-car, buses, etc, etc. Do have your wits about you. We have unfortunately still got those few pickpockets around as well, so do be careful with that. But if you're thinking of coming over, there's no tourism wars. It's not like they're saying. There's no one eating burgers or cheap beers that I can see. There might be cheap beers, but it's not like they're describing it at all, is it? Let me know your thoughts, but thank you very much. Get yourself down on that beach, get it booked.